Transcription. Button. Playback set. Playback set. Pause. Fast forward. Fifth play. Dimmed. Button. Fast forward. Fifth pause. Button. Off. Hey y'all, today's video is going to be my April recent reads video. I'm gonna try this again because the first recording didn't record all the way, so yeah. I read No Way Never Sisters, and it's about these two classmates whose parents want to get married. Excuse me. But the girls try to make sure that they don't get married, and the girls start to like each other, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Meet Me Under the Light. I gave that one 4 stars. And it's about a girl who is a baseball player, and she starts to fall in love with another baseball player, and yeah. Then I read the Dream Billionaire series. I gave that 4 stars. Then I read How to Write a Love Story, and I gave that 4 stars. And it's about an editor who travels to help the daughter of an author finish the book she's writing. The Faraway Inn, I gave 4 stars. Voice of the Ocean, I gave 4 stars. I read the Lakefront Billionaire series. I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Book Boyfriend, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Aristotle and Dante. I gave that 4 stars. It was a series. Then I read Before I Forget. I gave that 4 stars, and it was about a father and a daughter, and the father had dementia, and it was very, very emotional. Then I read Bella at Midnight. I gave that 4 stars. Then I read the Cursed Breakers series, and one of the characters had cerebral palsy. Then I read Chloe Vega and the Agents of Magic. I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Peregrine Quinn and the Cosmic Realm, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read the Green Wild series, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Beyond the Swirling Sky, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Spellsweeper, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read the Ember Spark series, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read the Tail Spinners series, and I gave that 4 stars. The Unicorn Legacy series, I gave that 4 stars. The Dragon Apprentice, I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Curse of the Phoenix, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read the Conjurers series, and I gave that 4 stars. And the school in that series, it's up in the clouds, and it was really, really cool. It was interesting. Then I read the Story Lake series, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read The Night We Met, and I gave that 4 stars. And the dog in the story was cute. Then I read Picking Daisies on Sundays, and I gave that 4 stars. Love Beyond the Book. It's about a woman named Remy who wrote a book, and she walks into a bookstore and she meets another woman named Simone, and it goes from there. Then I read Seon and Dean. I am so sorry if I'm butchering that, but I don't know how to say it. But yeah, I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Schooled, and I gave that 5 stars. Then I read Stay in Your Lane, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Please Don't Go, and it's a college baseball romance, and it was really emotional, but it was really good. And then I read Reasons to Hate Me, and I gave that 4 stars. Then I read Dandelion is Dead, and I gave that 4 stars. And it's about this woman who is basically grieving the loss of her sister. And then I read the Canrose U series, and I gave that 4 stars. And then I read If You Could Give You the Sun, I gave that 4 stars. Then I read One Word, 6 Letters, and I gave that book 4 stars. Then I read Summer Official, I gave that one 4 stars. And then I read As Long as You Loathe Me, I gave that one 4 stars. The Freeverse Society, I also gave 4 stars. And then I read a book called Glory Be, and I gave that one 3 stars. Then I read Pippa Park Raises Her Game, and I gave that 3 stars. The Blind Date Agreement, I gave that 3 stars. Crush at First Sight, I gave that 3 stars. Happy Ending, I gave that 4 stars. On Thin Ice, I gave that one 4 stars. It's a hockey player and figure skating romance, and yeah. So, and the last book I am gonna finish for the month is called First to Finish, and it's a Formula One romance, and it's the sequel to Pole Position, and so I'm most likely going to give it 4 stars. And so for the month of April, I read 49 books in total, and so only 3 out of those books were 5 stars. So yeah.